So this is a new Ryobi P720 job light. Kind of an interesting item. Now they have several other lights and flashlights in their product line that's related to the lithium-ion battery series, including a small, very durable lantern, which I've done a review on in the past. The small, durable lantern has a lot of battery life in it. No, you wouldn't normally buy a $20 lantern and then a $100 battery and then a $40 charger. But if you already adopted a tool system, it gives you options. The thing that I found when I was using those lanterns around my cabin is the batteries last a very long time and make a great night light. But, you know, you're not going to run a kitchen and a living room off of those lanterns. You would need brighter light. And at the time I was using a Dual light with incandescent bulbs, and it would go through batteries in a hurry. Well, here's kind of an interesting happy medium. Now this light is really bright when it's on. We're going to show that later in a segment here. We've got a few different ways to hang or rotate this. One of the better ways to work with lighting an area with one of these is actually to point it at a wall or a mirror and make it indirect light. The actual lighting area on this is this small point here that's extremely bright when it's turned on. And it's going to go through batteries faster than the other models. Now here's another really cool thing they do. It's the new Ryobi Dual power system. You can shove a power cord into this and plug it in and run this off a power cord without using a battery, or you can run it on a battery. Now when it has this dual power system, obviously it's one or the other, and it will not act as a battery charger. Now, Ryobi didn't really invent the concept on this. There were a few DeWalt items like their vacuum cleaners and some of their work lights where the light could either work on the batteries or in a plug-in. And DeWalt had some success with those tools. But the idea of having it with no power cord at all, where you attach a power cord to it, but there's no dangling cord on there, well, that's where this gets kind of interesting. Because it's a safety thing, so if there's any backfed stuff, you know, it's not like you got a positive and then negative getting something that could electrocute somebody. And it's self-selecting, because if you were to put a battery on here, well, then it blocks off that cord, right? So it's not going to double as a battery charger. But if they do a whole series of power tools that are selective like this, whether you can plug it in or run a battery, that truly bridges a gap between corded and cordless power tools. I think is really going to be the wave of the future. Now let's cut to the chase and show this thing outdoors in the darkness, and you're going to see how much it lights things up. Okay, so here's one of my problems with night photography. You can kind of see some lights in the distance here. I'm kind of in one of the industrial areas in Portland. I can see better with the naked eye than what the camera is going to do for you right now. I've got this job site light here, and you can see this area is going to come in black in the camera. We're going to turn this thing on. Now, here's a little clue in the camera. This is a location of an underground nightclub, basically. It's closed right now. It's a weeknight. But here you can see that this thing's really lighting this building up, okay? And I don't even know if I can safely get a view. Yeah, it's going to flash out the camera. I mean, this thing's got a lot of power to it. If we point this down the street, to give you an idea what's going on. Now we're getting a lot of light splash off this loading dock, so I'll carry it over to the edge. And you can see how, you know, even in the eyes of this camera, it's, you know, it's not far off of what some of these street lights do. I mean, it's really just not that far off. Now, they have a Xenon handheld spotlight that you can't leave turned on very long, and it burns through batteries because it's very, very powerful. It's what used to be called a 1,000,000 candle power spotlight. This LED light can be left on for long periods of time. Now, imagine it, you're going to be spending some money if you have 4 or 5 of these things, but it's bright enough to light up an outdoor area. So, you know, over here, would this be bright enough to do a lot of work at? I don't know. I can tell you to the naked eye, this building across the street's getting halfway decently lit. But we're, you know, it's a little less than a street lamp. But the thing is, to the naked eye, this isn't bad. If I carry this into the middle of the street and I point this at a building, we're going to point this at the nightclub, for example. And here, you know, you can see we're about 20 feet away. It's lit better to the naked eye than what you're seeing in the camera, okay? And again, there would be a cumulative effect if you have several of these things. So, you know, are we going to use this for painting this room at night, this place at night? No. But I could tell you that that's plenty of light to keep people from, let's say, tripping off the loading dock or something like that. And it's as good as any other job site light out there for what it's doing, with a lot of battery life. You know, it's just not going to be bad for battery life. Now you start getting up within, about 6 feet of something, then you've got enough light that you could work on this, okay? And you get rid of the shadows by having more than one light, you know, shooting from other directions. You'd be able to get rid of the shadows, and you can do okay. It's not bad. It is more of a short distance floodlight than, let's say, something that's going to penetrate distance like a headlight. Here you can see that we're penetrating down the street, but if we point over here and we're trying to get across the street, I'm getting better reaction out of the naked eye than I am with a camera. And there's a few variables, there's a few reasons for that.